Hello guys, welcome to the first video on my YouTube channel as Ballin. You might know me as the Football Fix, as my blog used to be called, but now I've decided to change to Ballin and expand to YouTube and not just do blogs anymore, to kind of broaden my horizons and reach a new demographic and stuff like that. So excuse the trim because I haven't been able to get a trim because obviously we're in lockdown now, but as soon as lockdown's done, I'm going to try and get that sorted. But for the next few videos, my hairline might be looking a bit mad and my shape up's a bit mad, but just excuse that for now. Today, we're going to be talking about coronavirus and the effect that has on sport. So, coronavirus had a big effect on all things around the world, not just sport, but sport has been a big thing that's had a big effect on. And football mainly has been a big thing that's affected. So, Euro 2020 was meant to be the big European country competition that was meant to happen this summer, but because of coronavirus, that's now been postponed. That's been moved back to 2021, and that means subsequently the women's Euros and the under 21 Euros has now been moved to 2022, I believe. In terms of domestic football, coronavirus has also had a very, very big effect on how the season's panned out. So if we're talking about in England especially, the Premier League has now been postponed, I think indefinitely now. They've said till April 30th, but as the thing keeps on growing, I think they're going to postpone it indefinitely. And they're trying to find a way to finish it, obviously to help the clubs financially and stuff, but I don't think they might be able to find one, but hopefully they do. But I wouldn't mind too much if they don't, being a Man United fan, because I didn't want to see Liverpool in the league, so I don't mind too much if they postpone it for this season or they just cancel it or rule it null and void for this season. And in terms of the Premier League, it's also had a big effect on the clubs. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta contracted the virus pretty early on into the spread in the UK. Callum Hudson-Odoi also contracted it, but they've both since recovered and they've been well. But the clubs have had to take precautions and both their squads have had to self-isolate, but I don't think it's spread to anyone else in the club, so that's been good. But a few other clubs in the Premier League, Leicester and Brighton, I think also had to self-isolate their teams just to make sure that no one in the team had contracted it. But even past England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Ireland have all cancelled their football or postponed their football for the foreseeable future because they don't know how this thing's going to spread. In those countries, there's not too many cases, but I think they're just taking precaution, and it's fair to because they don't know how it will spread and how quickly it will spread. And with the amount of people in football stadiums, you can't really blame them for taking that precaution. In terms of basketball now, American NBA has taken a big hit because of this, with the NBA now being postponed. They say it could come back for the championships or the playoffs, but I don't think that's going to be too possible because it's now growing faster than ever in America, with Americans still going out and stuff. And it was a few months ago that it got cancelled when Utah Jazz player Rudy Gobert contracted the virus, so they cancelled it from then. And then it spread, and the Brooklyn Knicks all had to go and self-isolate when they found out that 6 of their players had contracted the virus, including Kevin Durant. But that was a few months ago and we haven't heard anything since, so I would assume that they might have recovered by now, but who's to say that they're all still isolated. Next, we're going to move on to boxing and UFC and other combat sports. A lot of boxing fights have now been postponed or moved because of this coronavirus. Dillian Whyte was meant to fight Povetkin in May, but that fight has now been moved to July initially, but it may be cancelled completely. But hopefully that still goes ahead in May. Anthony Joshua is meant to fight Pulev in June for his title, and that fight as of now is still going ahead, but Eddie Hearn says that anything could change in the next few days and it could then change to sometime in July. And Fury is meant to also fight Wilder in the next few months, but they're still saying that that fight could still go ahead, but sometime in October, because hopefully the virus will be under control and gone by then, so they'll be able to make the fight happen. In UFC as well, Khabib vs Ferguson was a highly anticipated fight that everyone wanted to see, which people would have thought would have been the first fight that Khabib would have lost, but that's been postponed now for the record 5th time. 5 times that fight's been postponed now because of different reasons, injuries and now the coronavirus. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, and so many other big fights were meant to happen in the UFC which have now been postponed. But who knows what could happen in the next few weeks and months. So guys, that was a quick roundup on some of the main sports in the world where coronavirus has had a big effect. There's some sports where they're still going on as usual. In Belarus, I know the hockey's still going on and the president's not really too concerned, but they're just playing games behind closed doors now, but they're still going full speed ahead. I'm not too sure about the other sports, whether they're still going ahead, but that's one country that's still going ahead. But hopefully everything goes back to normal soon and we get all our sport back, because my days have been boring without having football to watch, anything to a boxing. There's nothing on TV to watch and I'm getting bored now, so hopefully sport comes back soon. And I've got loads of new videos coming soon. I've got a few ideas of what I can do. I'm going to try and do maybe some collaborations over Skype if I can, FaceTime, different things, because I know you guys might want some original content, but there's a few videos coming soon, and if you have any other suggestions, just leave them in the comments or go follow my Insta where I'll put up polls every few days if anyone has any ideas as well. But keep posted on this channel, like, subscribe, and also keep up to date with my blog as well, as I'll still be uploading on there. Take care guys, in a bit.